Because the plan is to bring in enough illegals to checkmate every state and to pass laws that are unconstitutional to confiscate guns, force conscription, restrictions on what religion you can practice. Houston's trying to arrest preachers that read out of the Old Testament. This is really going on. We know what they've done in other parts of the world. So I would expect with Fast and Furious and IRS Gate and NSA Gate and the government funding Al-Qaeda and Obamacare with the death panels and the premium increases and the blanket amnesty illegally, I would have expected all of them to be thrown out. I would have expected Obama to be impeached. So, yeah, we can celebrate that there was somewhat of a big realignment, but now, day one, not even before election night was over, Mitch McConnell and Boehner, the Republican leaders all strutting around like peacocks, are saying, hey, we're going after the Tea Party with our donors, and we're going to work with the Democrats, and we're going to be conciliatory, and we're not going to impeach Obama, so you just sit down and shut up. And now you see the Democrats with the Republican leadership circling the wagons against the American people, while the Pentagon treasonously trains for military occupation of America against returning veterans and gun owners. The only good news in that, silver lining in that cloud, that big cloud, that storm cloud, is that the last 6 years of training the military for gun confiscation and training them the founding fathers are bad and training them that freedom is bad, is that it woke the military completely up. But will people go back to sleep now that Obama's a lame duck and, oh, we won, so let him have his executive orders. Oh, we can't impeach him. Oh, we can't block his executive orders, because they want to shut down the power plants, because they want to open the borders up, because they want to continue Obamacare written by the big insurance companies and banks. They want to continue business as usual on and on and on and on and on. That's the plan. That's the goal. And I know you know that, but we need to get those points out there. I'll tell you, though, when I tune into other libertarian conservative talk radio and they're saying exactly what I'm saying, it's exciting that in the past 5, 6, 7 years, they tune in, hear what we're saying, and then say it a day later or a week later. The real power of this broadcast is we're affecting the entire narrative, even as CNN, MSNBC, and Time Magazine have said, that clearly it starts on this show and then ends up everywhere else. It doesn't even start here anymore in many cases, and I love that. I want to make myself obsolete. People now get the paradigm. They get how it really works. And so we have had such a massive effect in paradigm shifting that now I'm hearing them talk about population reduction and why the Democrats and the liberals are really fascist and totalitarians. But it's not that they're just adopting my worldview. People are researching what the real source documents show. They're researching what's going on in the actual documentation. And that's what's exciting. Because once people pull back the curtain, once they get outside the box, once the genie's out of the bottle, once the train leaves the station, once people pull back and go, what? Global unelected governance with a world tax, tracking everything we do, and setting taxes so high you can't afford to have kids, and you can't even have a car, and you're totally poor, and they're telling the third world they can't even have a shack to politically control us. We're not going to go along with this. I got some special reports I want to get to and a lot of other breaking news that's up on Infowars.com. But right now, I want to go right back to the phone calls. Richard in Florida, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Alex?
Good, brother.
Hey, listen, I can't help but be skeptical about the whole thing, about the Republicans taking over and everything. The people have spoken, but the real, I mean, it'll come out when they listen to us and do what we ask. The reason they were voted in is because we want them to do something. Not just to get them in there and feel good that we got Republicans in there. We need them to actually take action and do something.
Well, I agree with you. And look, we always focus on the federal level. It's been pretty much captured by the globalist. That's why no matter what we do, they won't ever do the right thing. But at the state and county and city level, it's too complex for them to have full control. And that's where the real gains are happening. They are so scared of what Ron Paul did, then Rand Paul, then Ted Cruz, now this sweep. They can see the exponential growth. And so I'm simply saying we're in the game. We have a chance to turn the tide, but we need maximum effort by everybody. Folks can't now celebrate that, oh, we repudiated Obama. Notice he says he doesn't feel repudiated. He's coming with the executive orders. So we need to hammer Mitch McConnell and hammer John Boehner, not just with phone calls and emails, but banner hangs and trips to their offices in Kentucky and other areas. And we need to call in on talk radio about them. And we need to put pressure on them. And we need to put pressure on the other members of the House and Senate to unseat them in the seniority leadership. Since when is it seniority? And then you have a limited group they vote for. No. Why don't we have Walter Jones as the Speaker of the House? Why don't we have Justin Amash as the Speaker of the House? Why don't we have Senator Cruz or Senator Paul as the leader of the Senate? We don't want more stale establishment guys that have been up there 30, 40 years that were for the banker bailouts and were for Obamacare and won't repeal it now. I'm trying not to get angry, but I can't. I hate Boehner and Mitch McConnell more than I do Obama. At least Obama is an open criminal. At least he funds the Muslim Brotherhood publicly. At least he opens the borders up publicly. At least he comes after our guns publicly. At least he pushes Obamacare publicly. These Republican blue blood pieces of garbage. See, I'm trying not to get mad. They sit up there in their fancy little suits with all their little minions around them telling us how this certifies Republican establishment and all their GOP crap. I mean, they make me want to throw up, just like all these fake Democrats preying on minorities do. They know what they're doing. They know they're selling the country out. They know they're trying to shut down the jobs. They're involved in Cloward and Piven just as much as the Democrats are. It was a Republican, George H.W. Bush, that got us signed on executively. They didn't pass it in Congress, to the Agenda 21. And now we're living under something that never even passed. Just like Congress 5 years ago wouldn't pass carbon taxes. Obama just went ahead with it, passed on in your energy prices. Energy's up almost double in this country when it comes to electrical power and stuff. I mean, look at your power bills. They want to hurt us. They're bad people. Harry Reid is a bad man. John McCain, now the head of the Armed Services Committee. That's a bad thing that came out of this. The Democrat he's replacing, it wasn't even as bad as he is. I mean, does anyone really believe John McCain's getting elected? Does anyone buy the guy that hangs out with Al-Qaeda? I'm sorry, caller. Thank you for the call. Who's up next here? I just got really angry. I just can't get angry like that anymore. People say, oh, we love it when you get angry more. No, I don't need to get angry more, okay? I need to focus on the news, build a news organization to fight these people. But it's not 1/10 of what we need, what happened yesterday. Yes, I'm happy. But it's out. Do you understand? They ship in unlimited illegals from all over the world and give them free plane tickets or bus tickets and then ship them to Section 8 housing at nice apartment complexes, swimming pools, workout gyms, you name it, and sign them up on welfare and give them voter IDs. I mean, I was told this 7, 8 years ago by a major manager or family friend, and they were sworn to secrecy and to sign non-disclosures. And they said, you throw out citizens for anything. You let illegals stay 10 to a 1-bedroom if we want. Do you understand that's an order? And then the head of her company is the guy that got blown up in his car in West Texas. Remember all that? Probably staged his death. It's the biggest apartment chain in the country. And then now callers calling saying, yeah, there's all these Nigerians here, and the feds are here, and the whole complex has been taken over, and they're training them and giving them documents. I mean, yeah, it's an organized crime government. Do you understand? It isn't just Obama. It isn't going away. But it could if we unseat John Boehner and people like McConnell. We could save this country. Let me explain something. It's easy to wreck something and then salvage it and cut it in pieces calling yourself a hero. That's what the globalists do. They wreck companies and take them over and sell them off. They wreck countries. You ever seen Wall Street, the first one? Really good movie based on a lot of things that have really happened. It's not a true story, but it's based on a lot of things that did happen. Where they come into a perfectly good company that's making money and doing great, but they'd rather loot the pensions, they'd rather take it over, they'd rather sell it off and have a profit for the executives that take it over right there. America is under a hostile globalist takeover. And I am not their slave. I'm not here to be used as a doormat. I'm not here to be lectured that I can't have a car or air conditioning while Obama lives like an emperor of Earth. I take offense at him telling Africans they can't have anything. Or they can only come here and get it from me. Oh, man, I'm angry. Robert in Georgia, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Thanks for taking my